Hello, everybody. This is Bernie Strom, and welcome to my YouTube channel for today's broadcast of Field of Dreams Baseball. We are in the month of June in Field of Dreams in season 11. Field of Dreams has been pretty busy this week. We have been doing a golf draft. We are into the third month of our baseball season. We're approaching the playoffs in our football league, and we're into the second month of our hockey league, and there's somewhere in there's a basketball tournament everyone's attempting to play. Anyway, here we are. First week, going to the first week of June here today. We'll broadcast two games and sim the rest as Mark from Beantown comes in, and he's got a game we're going to show on the 7th of June. So without any further ado, let's briefly review the Global League, Beantown, and that's Mark's team. First place, 27-13, a game and a half ahead of Manchester and Washington. In the Universal League, Lehigh, Steve Tate's team, 3 games ahead of Union Stewart. Lehigh's 28-16. Union Stewart's 25-19, 4 games ahead of my Vegas team, who's 23-19. So without any further ado, since everybody's concentrating on ending up the golf draft today, and I think we're into the last round, if I'm not mistaken. Steve Tate just made a pick for his 8th and last player for his team. Anyway, let's go to the baseball game. And on the 1st of June, there's the schedule. Lancaster at Gary. Lancaster shuts out Gary 6-0. Union Stewart's at Vegas battling for second and third place. 8-6. Vegas defeats Union Stewart's in 11 innings. St. Louis at Washington. St. Louis in a rebuilding year, and they're continuing to rebuild as Washington defeats them 3-2. San Francisco at Philadelphia. Philly battling for the playoffs, and they lose to San Francisco 13-8. Beantown, Mark's first place team in the Global Division at Carolina. Carolina upsets them 6-2. Crystal Lake also fighting for a playoff spot in that league, along with Manchester. The two of them are fighting it out, and Manchester wins 3-1. Apier over Rogers. Apier 6-0. Okay, here we go. Chicago and Real Chicago for the championship of Chicago. And the upstart New Chicago team defeats Real Chicago 5-3 in 11 innings. Lehigh, the best team in the Global, facing Northwest, the worst team in the Global. 5-1 Lehigh. We go on to the second. Crystal Lake and Manchester. Manchester won the first game, and they won the second game. They beat Crystal Lake 5-4. Mel Parnell now 4-0. Union Stewart's at Vegas. Union Stewart's trying to get even, and they do not, as Joe McGinnity shuts out the Union Stewards and defeats Pedro Martinez. St. Louis at Washington. Let's take a look. Washington, a half game out, essentially tied, and they shut out St. Louis 4-0. San Francisco at Philadelphia, 2-1. San Francisco. Philadelphia loses again. They started out hot, but they've cooled off. They're now 23-23. Lancaster at Gary, 7-1 Lancaster. Lancaster battling for one of those playoff spots. Gary is too. Everybody in that division but Northwest in that league can make the playoffs. First place, Beantown. Well, they're tied. There's 3 teams. It looks like it's tied. Let's see if they're going to win, but they don't. Carolina upsets them 5-2. Kicks them out of first place. Manchester and Washington now a half game up on Beantown. The Battle of Chicago, and Real Chicago gets even with the newcomers. They win 7-2. And the best versus the worst, Lehigh versus Northwest. Lehigh wins 4-2. We're gone to the third. We are going to play a game on the fourth, if you guys are wondering. St. Louis at Washington, and Washington tied for first. And now they got it all by themselves. They defeat St. Louis 7-2. San Francisco at Philadelphia. San Francisco 3 games in a row over Philly, 4-1, this time in 11 innings. Lancaster at Gary. Gary loses 3-2 to Lancaster. Lancaster 1 game above 500 now. Beantown at Carolina. Beantown shuts out Carolina 2-0 to remain a half game behind Washington. Crystal Lake at Manchester. Manchester's won the first 2. They've won all 3. They win 4-2. Manchester now is tied with Washington. Crystal Lake is 3.5 back. Everybody's still in it. It's early. The Battle of Chicago. The new Chicago team beats the old Chicago team 9-6. Union Stewards at Vegas. Union Stewards gets even a little bit. Koufax over Alexander. 5-2 win. And Lehigh at Northwest. And Lehigh sweeps the Northwest team, winning 8-0. We go to the fourth. We will play a game. The game we're going to play, we are going to play Union Stewards at Philadelphia. But before that, Beantown's going to play on the 7th. So we're going to auto this. Beantown at Washington for first place. Washington wins 9-2. They are a half game up. Beantown a game and a half behind. And let's play Union Stewards at Philadelphia. For Union Stewards, Mike Silver's team, Spud Chandler on the mound, facing Dizzy Trout. Lineups are in. And I have a problem with this game. You can hear me, but I can't hear. My sound just went out. I am going to have to stop this right now. I will restart and we'll be back on here in about 2 minutes. I apologize, but this happens on occasion.